What are some not fun facts? Someone commits suicide every 40 seconds. I remember George Carlin, a dark humor comedian, said this during a show, then gleefully looked at his watch and said, "There goes another one." Still smiling. Some whales, when old, no longer have enough strength to swim for as long. So if they swim too deep, they might not have enough strength to swim back up to get air, so they end up drowning. Edit. Some people smarter than I have pointed out that they technically don't drown, but instead suffocate from the lack of air. This is apparently because whales have to manually breathe instead of it being done automatically. On the topic of dead whales, whenever they die and their bodies reach the surface, they will eventually explode like a balloon. The reason they reach the surface is the same as why they blow up: gas buildup. If you get a roach infestation bad enough, they will eat your skin while you sleep. They will also crawl into your ear, which is a horrible experience. That sounds like it's coming from experience. The reason why dogs love squeaky toys is because it sounds like tiny animals dying. Smiley face. I had a Rottweiler, lab mix. He'd carry his squeaky ball around so gently, and anytime he grabbed it a little too hard and it squeaked, he'd immediately drop it and look so sad and concerned. He was such a good boy. I've always thought this. And then when my dog rips out a squeaker and brings it to me, it scares me. It's like my dog is showing me she can kill things and rip out their life force. And she wants to be congratulated for it? Edit. Just to be clear, I do congratulate my dog after and throw away the plastic. I'm proud of my vicious 10-pound killer of stuffed animals, of a Maltipoo. There's a plant in Australia called the Gympie tree that has hairs all over it that are small enough and are compared to hypodermic needles. And whenever a person touches the plant, these hairs stick into your skin and inject a toxin that causes a pain compared to the affected area being covered in acid and set on fire. And what makes it worse is that the pain lasts months to years. Edit. Changed spelling of some words. Pretty sure there was a guy that used it for toilet paper. Yep, and unsurprisingly he shot himself. Edit. Well, my first award and my highest ranked comment in true Reddit style is about a guy who went through the 3 stages of Gympie grief: shat, shock, shot, step aside, bottle cap challenge. I present to you the wiping your ass with millions of toxic needles challenge. What the hell is wrong with Australia? How can a place be so hostile to Homo sapiens? It has a secret it's trying to hide in the outback somewhere. When it comes to heart disease, the very first symptom in roughly 1/3 of all cases is sudden death. Meaning you could be perfectly healthy and drop dead because you had heart disease and didn't know it. Check your family history, people. Yup, my old man was 64, ate healthy, ran every day, had an old guy six-pack, didn't drink or smoke, and loved his job. One day he just literally fell over dead. Silent ischemia. Removed. Bloody Elmy. Hedgehog's got the wibbly wobbly upsy turns around disease roid in the knickers. Removed. Their asterisk hands. Asterisk. You would hope they could invest in some kind of pool skimmer net. Not they like raw dogging the poopy water like that. Also so much hair. Like hairball boulders. And the condoms tie into one another and not like a rap king. Worked at a wastewater treatment plant for a few months. Removed. Can confirm Monsieur my uncle got a vasectomy and his wife was pregnant with twins a few weeks later. By the mailman. His first mistake was getting a vasectomy by a mailman. Unless things have changed, they are not qualified to do that. You can die from Alzheimer's due to the brain forgetting how to swallow or breathe. That's usually how you die from Alzheimer's. Yeah, but a surprising amount of people don't even know you can die from Alzheimer's. Babies can die after consuming honey. The botulinum toxin, like the one in Botox, will paralyze their muscles, causing floppy baby syndrome. Edit. To clarify, the bacterial spores, basically a super-resistant sleepy form of the microbe, are in the honey. not the actual toxin. After going into the human, they start the party and produce the toxin. They really should have named that something else. Just like wobbly hedgehog syndrome. Who's naming these things? Weenie Hut General. The Spanish flu was one of the most lethal pandemics in history. Edited out the most. There are lots of elements that determine the deadliness of these various diseases, and too much uncertainty and death tolls to say for sure which disease was the most lethal. People who caught it bled from their ears, experienced nausea and extreme fever. Their skin turned shades of blue, and experienced extreme pain from the slightest touch. It caused internal hemorrhaging. 18 to 35 adults' immune systems, which would typically be considered the strongest, would react so strongly that their bodies would fill up with antibodies and fluid, literally drowning the infected with their own defense mechanism. This happened for a specific reason. See Peakman's comment. Edit. If you are looking for a good source, The Great Influenza by John Monsieur Barry is a good one. It was the worst of the 20th century, but not all of history. The plague has a much higher death toll for I think 1348 to 1350. It is kind of interesting why they call it the Spanish influenza of 1918. Though, Spain was one of the few places actually reporting accurate morbidity and mortality rates. Horses can't throw up. If they need to throw up, they'll die. Rip BoJack Horseman. Oh man, that grass was ass dies. Brain aneurysms can happen at any time in your life, and you won't know until it's too late, or if a doctor accidentally finds it. My cousin had his first brain aneurysm at 23 in 2003. Week prior complained of headaches. Was taking hot shower and collapsed. Medic flight to hospital, and the docs operated on brain and managed to save. Hi Monsieur told us he'd be like a little kid for rest of life. He managed to make a full recovery within 5 years. Learned to walk, talk again. Everything. It was amazing and unimaginable at the same time. Only reminder was the scar on his head. He had his second and fatal brain aneurysm in his sleep at age 36 in 2016. No symptoms this time. He was always living on borrowed time. Just glad we got an additional 13 years with him before he left us for good. Dolphins have been known to violently rape female dolphins in groups. They rape people too. That's why I have no interest in swimming with a monsieur. What? I saw a video of a dolphin attempting to rape a dude. Didn't care about the species or sex. Just wanted to, something. Don't worry, his friend saved him. Edit. This brought me from 4K karma to 7.9K in one day. How? First was a marine mammal rehabber for a while in Texas. If I had my period, I wasn't allowed in the water with the dolphins because if it was male it would try to have sex with me, and if it was female it would view me as competition and try to kill me. Are you sure it wasn't just what you were wearing, you hussy? Edit. Is this seriously what gives me my first gold? If you have two pregnant cows give birth at the same time and one cow's calf dies and the other mother cow dies, leaving her calf orphaned, you can skin the dead calf and drape the skin over the living calf. Then the living mother will believe the orphaned calf is hers by smell and pattern of the skin and feed the calf, keeping it alive. Edit. I just woke up for milking, and to my surprise this post got a fair bit of attention, haha. I should note people nowadays would only do this if they had only the two cows and no neighbors to get milk off to hand raise the calf. Working on a dairy where we have many cows calving at the same time, we can just leave them with a group of mothers and someone will feed it. Usually we will milk the mother cow and hand feed the calves in a shelter, as we're not a huge dairy. Second edit. A calf needs the first milk from a mother cow that's just calved. This milk is called colostrum. It contains all the antibodies that fight infections and bacteria and help boost the calf's immune system. Monsieur, you must get this into the calf within 6 to 12 hours of the calf's birth to help it survive and be healthy. If you only own the two cows, then you have this exact scenario where one mother died and the other Mother's calf dies and she refuses to take on the orphan calf and you have no neighbors with colostrum to bottle feed it, then this would be one way for you to keep this calf alive. Again, for the people who are saying other mothers take on the calves, this is true, but in the scenario I'm suggesting, the farmer only owns the 2 cows. When one dies, you're only left with the 1 cow. No other mothers to take on the calf. Removed. Wouldn't be a problem if koalas weren't such rapists. You'd think I am joking, but I'm not. Well, that's 2 not fun facts about koalas. Would you like another? They smell terrible. How dare you? Heroin overdose is so prevalent and dangerous because of how fast tolerance bounces back. So let's say an addict gets arrested and is in jail for a few days, weeks, whatever. If they're a heavy user, even half the dose they last used could kill them, monsieur. I actually heard an interesting thing about heroin overdose during a lecture. Taking heroin in a different place or different kind of place can actually lead to overdoses. Basically, it's like Pavlov's dog. When you have the same ritual, including place, your body actually prepares itself. I assume heart rate change, etc., and has situation-specific tolerance. You have it somewhere without the ritual and your body doesn't do that preparation, meaning you have less tolerance to the drug, even if it's the same dose as normal. Fascinating concept. Edit. Thank you for the Silverkind Redditor. If you shine a flashlight smartphone on a newborn sea turtle for too long, which could be only minutes, it will start crawling around in circles, known as the Ring of Death. It means that the turtle's eyesight has been permanently damaged due to mistaking your lights for the moon that guides it to the sea. By doing this, you have doomed the sea turtle to death right after birth. Edit. Information was given to me by the Sea Turtle Preservation Society in Indialantic, FL during a presentation. It's really sad that this is even a known thing. Poor turtles. Sperm attracts ants because it contains fructose. I learned it the hard way this morning. If it makes you feel any better, those ants were female. See you later, virgins. There is a whale called 52 Blue who sings at such a strange frequency he is unable to communicate with other whales. Pretty sure there was an Octonauts program about it. They make him a special translator and he lives happily ever after. When running through a government test, the TSA failed to find 95% of weapons that entered planes through the airport scanner system, monsieur. Edit. Wow, this blew up quickly. Pun intended. What's really fun is that the ads for the TSA that run in my Instagram advertise that security experience is not necessary. You'd think security experience for a security job would be ideal, but they'll train you regardless of your experience, I hope. Meanwhile today, my backpack was deemed non-compliant because my Ziploc bag of liquids was too big. Not the liquids, just the bag. So air security literally took my liquids, put them in a smaller bag and gave them back to me, letting me take my now empty bigger bag as well. Gingivitis is contagious. This is exceptionally gross. You are more likely to have met a future murderer than you are to have a lasting marriage. Well, of course I know. Hi, monsieur. He's me. Sharks eat their siblings before birth equals there can be only one. A cat's penis is sharply barbed along its shaft. Some dogs have to get their anal glands squeezed by veterinarians or their owners. If too much fluid gets stuck in the monsieur, dogs usually help themselves with the issue though, by pooing or rubbing their butts on the floor. My mom has been a dog groomer for 15 years. I would often bathe the dogs so she can give them haircuts. Part of the bathing process is to squeeze that anal gland. Dogs who don't get groomed often usually are backed up, and I'll tell you, some of them were held in by pressure. I've squeezed a few that absolutely shot across the bathtub. It's black, stinky, toxic ooze. It does not smell pleasant. And if your dog isn't the type that drags their butt on your carpet to let you know things are getting backed up, the glands can abscess and explode. Then for a few weeks it looks like your dog has two buttholes. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.